Buckle up because season 2 is just hours away or less depending on when you're watching this, and these patch notes might make you think twice before jumping in head first. Hey guys, Nightfall here, and I know I said I'd be making a video of all my progress so far from season 1, but realistically, who wants to see that? I didn't make a ton of progress considering I was just using the P90 for most of the time, even though it was already maxed out. And also, we got patch notes. Hopefully you can watch this video while you're waiting for the server maintenance to pass by before hopping on the game and jumping into season 2. Or if you're watching this later in the day after season 2 is already out, that's cool too. But there's a lot more to unpack here than we originally thought, so let's just go ahead and get into it. First up, as always, gameplay. Fixed an issue preventing some players from sliding after a jump if they selected the hold option instead of toggle for crouch and sprint in the settings menu. Very weird. Personally, I use toggle for crouching, so I never ran into this, but cool. Corrected a control issue that stopped players from sprinting if they fired while quickly switching to ADS in mid-sprint. Again, not something I've ever experienced, but nice to know that it's fixed. Here's a good one. Victims of melee attacks now suffer a movement penalty of half speed for a quarter of a second. And I'm gonna have to say that's a huge W, because when you punch someone, the time it takes for you to pull your gun out, ADS, and shoot, you're already dead. It's too late. This sort of evens the playing field by not allowing them to run too far away from you to where you can just punch them again and finish them off, instead of having to rely on hopefully getting your gun out in time. They updated the 6 preset loadouts in the loadout menu, so they offer full sets of attachments for the primary and secondary weapons, along with devices that complement the primary weapon in each preset. And the second half of this explains it very nicely on why it's a good change. Just overall a nice change, especially for new players, though experienced players like myself and most of you probably won't ever touch this. They also said they tuned major and daily challenges, and when you complete a major challenge, the next one is automatically activated so you don't have to select it. And I guess I've just been missing out on a lot of stuff because I've never had to do any of that. They've always just been there. Fixed a weapons progression glitch that wasn't granting weapon XP points for kill assists. I knew it. I knew something was off. It felt like weapons weren't leveling up as fast as they used to, and this explains that. So are we going to get a bulk of added XP to weapons that this happened with? Doubtful, but one can hope. Moving down to factions, we already know all about the Highwaymen, so I'll skip that and go straight for the GS Commando. They made the ADS easier to deploy in tight spaces, and now you can cancel the ADS after deploying it. Big W. I don't use the GSK a ton, but that's good. I know a solid fix when I see it. They also fixed a glitch where it wasn't shooting out enemy prox mines, which I didn't even realize that it was supposed to do that. And then they also fixed a camera reset bug caused by running into Shockwire, which I don't think I can say I've ever experienced this because, well, I don't run into Shockwire. I play DedSec and I hack it. Speaking of DedSec, let's see how they massacred my boy. So previously, deploying the Spiderbot followed immediately by the Ultra would just cancel out the Spiderbot, so that's supposed to be fixed. And then they made the Spiderbot louder, so now you know it's hunting you down. And I never really had any issues with how loud or quiet it was. It's already loud enough, and you can hear it from crazy far away already. And anyone complaining about the audio of it is just coping at this point. But whatever, I don't use Spiderbot, I hack them. So they also decreased DedSec Ultra from 25 down to 20 seconds, which at first I thought this was a big L, but then I saw the next part where it says even after the enemy dies, they're still locked out, so overall DedSec W here. Then apparently there was a glitch where the hijack would get disabled after using it on moving devices like Spiderbots, fire drones. And I've hacked a ton of both of those and never really encountered this issue, but sure. Up next is the Phantom faction, and keep in mind the Phantoms have future nerfs planned and incoming, like the 5% movement nerf, the health nerf, but that's all later in the season. That's not coming today. What is coming today is a few fixes where they removed an exploit where players could go invincible. Yep, invincible if they activated the Ultra just before dying. That's annoying. Glad I never went up against it. Glad to see it fixed. Then they also fixed the mag barrier so it's not impervious to the Phantom Ultra if it's not hit dead center. Imagine Phantom abilities countering Phantom Ultras. What a game. Then they also restored controller force feedback when blocking damage with the Blitz Shield, whatever the hell that means. And finally, Libertad. They're just going after all the factions this time, I guess, but their range of the Biovita boost was increased. The Medico Supremo health mist no longer disperses in midair if players deploy it while landing from on high. Okay. Fixed the bug locking Libertad players in a zoomed in ADS state when deploying the Medico Supremo while using ADS. And I think this may be why I've seen them walking around holding the canister in their hand, but still able to ADS and shoot me. And then lastly, for Libertad, enemies no longer get the ultra cancel points for taking out the deploying player. Also, the Cleaner's Drone and Phantom Mag Barrier no longer launch in the wrong direction when your Wi-Fi connection is ass. Good to know. We aren't even halfway through this yet, but let's take a moment to plug the Discord and my Twitter. Private matches, not coming with the Season 2 launch, but they'll be here before you know it, and you won't want to miss what I have in store for them. So links to both my Discord and Twitter are in the description of this video. But moving on to the map section, Waterfront, new map, cool, we know. Mayday, they removed Capture the Flag from this map on the unranked playlist because it's just not a well-balanced map for that mode. Okay, but then why are we leaving it in ranked? I could see if they said they're taking it out of the unranked playlist because it's not a well-balanced map for 6v6, but they're just saying it's not a well-balanced map for Capture the Flag overall, but still potentially leaving it in ranked. Interesting choice. So there were some other map fixes to avoid players floating and seeing other players through walls, and also fixed objects on a couple of maps that stopped the ADS from being deployed. Then we get down to the news we've all been waiting for, but apparently no one could answer until now. There was some conflicting info on whether or not Bomb was supposed to be coming at launch, or if it was coming later in season. Well, here it is. It's coming at launch. For those unaware, Bomb is just the name for the search and destroy game mode that most of us have been waiting for, so I can't wait to jump in and have fun with that later today. And they also fixed some visual issue on Escort, but all I really want to know is, can I mount the Highwayman's turret to the Escort package? TDM had overtime when matches ended in a tie, and apparently that wasn't supposed to happen, so now that's not going to happen because they fixed it. And they also added TDM daily challenges. And also CTF looks like they added some Ubisoft Connect achievements for completing a game of Capture the Flag, and then also XP scores for accomplishing escort and zone control objectives have been doubled. Let's go. That's all I play. Huge W. Shout out to all my zone control and escort players. Then we haven't been getting cleanse points for killing the last enemy in domination, occupy, or zone, but that's now fixed, they say. We'll see. And they also added medal challenges, which not exactly sure what that means, but they added them for completing games in an effort to get people to stay until the end, which I highly doubt that doing that is really going to help any, but again, we'll see. Then we get down to the rank changes, which looks like a lot more than it is and isn't anything that we really wanted or needed for that matter. The first big chunk is just telling you that you now have 10 separate slots to build a ranked loadout with any of the weapons, attachments, and devices that came with the game's launch, regardless if you have them unlocked or not. So Season 1 and Season 2 Battle Pass weapons, attachments, and devices are going to be excluded from this, and you'll still need to unlock them first before you can use them. Also, it should be noted that if you do not have that weapon unlocked, you will not gain XP on it, so you might be better off just sticking to pubs. They also corrected an issue in ranked preventing PC keyboard users from confirming their pre-selected ability if a teammate has the same faction pre-selected. No. The issue was, if you're playing on PC with a controller, if your teammate has the same faction selected, it won't let you confirm on your controller the pre-selected ability that you had. It forces you to use your mouse to click it to proceed to the loadout screen. I don't care how you word it here. I don't care if it was just a misinterpretation. Just please fix it. It's a minor annoyance, but still, just fix it. Ranked mode now uses party's average ranked level to find new players, with the average weighted towards the highest level player in the party. And I wish they would explain a bit on what the hell that even means or give an example, because I thought this is how it's always been. But this still isn't going to help the fact that you have half the Ruby players being brain dead and getting paired with you against 4 stacks that you have no hope of winning against. Just make party size a higher priority when matchmaking, please and thank you. This next section goes over the new weapons, which I've already discussed in other videos, but something interesting here is a new attachment called the Extended Mag Tube, which says it's a shotgun only attachment that increases ammo capacity, because that's exactly what we need given that shotguns are literally sniping people across the damn map. Just give them more ammo. Yeah, 10 out of 10. But I think the more interesting part about all of this is that wasn't even the attachment that was accidentally shown in the reveal. There was supposed to be something called the tapered barrel. So where's that? And with there being no other mention of attachments anywhere in these patch notes, does that mean we're going to get a new attachment each month alongside the new map? Who knows? But let's breeze through these tweaks to existing weapons because most of them are boring. So the M44 can't ADS before the reload animation finishes. The Magnum removed a half-second delay when switching to ADS after getting that jump or crouch spam penalty. The M870, May It Burn in Hell, corrected a timing issue to spent shell casings, ejected when the slide is racked back because realism. MDR removed aiming obstructions when using a skeletonized skin. Also, same M870 tweaks that happened with that. And lastly, but certainly never least, the sniper rifles. They reduced the duration of the hit flinch penalty from 0.7 to 0.5. Very nice. I don't think the duration was the issue. I think it was the amount of flinch that we're getting. That was the problem. Now the fun stuff. What's that old saying? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it is broke and you can't fix it, just, I guess, throw it away and get a new one. Because that's basically what they did here with some of these attachments. The muzzle booster and rapid fire barrel have been known to have issues with the increased recoil they were supposed to give but weren't actually giving, but were giving some of it but then weren't giving any of it. It's a long, convoluted story. I have old videos about it. If you want to check into it, go check those out. But they just took the recoil penalty away. For the muzzle booster, they did add a short and medium range penalty. Not sure if this is damage or distance. Sounds like distance to me. And they also added an ADS speed penalty of 7.5%. And both of those numbers are doubled for the rapid fire barrel. So you might want to consider taking off those attachments on some of your weapons. But I cannot wait to retest those 2 attachments to see if they actually do what they say they do. It'll be the first time we have a round 3 of the same attachment. But then the lightweight barrel also got some shade where they removed the recoil penalty from that too and also added a 10% short medium range penalty. Never used the lightweight barrel, but if you're somebody who did, maybe reconsider. But now let's get into some more interesting stuff. They reduced the shakiness and other visually distorting issues while using a scope and crouching or spamming crouch in crouch only areas. Whatever that means, someone let me know in the comments. But the new mastery skin, Pyroclastic, unlocked at weapon level 500, but, and this is a big but, according to Zach from Ubisoft and also a tweet later posted by Aches, you have to first reach level 400 with 4 ARs, 4 SMGs, 3 shotguns, 3 LMGs, 2 marksman rifles, 2 sniper rifles, and 5 secondaries. So almost the whole launch kit of weapons that need to be maxed out. And then, and only then, can you start leveling the other guns to level 500. But this doesn't really clear it all up, because what if I don't want to do that? Does that mean that my max level P90 just stays at 400? Or can I level that up to 500 first, then go do all of this and come back and already have the new skin for my P90? Maybe just make it so you have to max out every AR to get it on the AR. Don't force me to use shotguns and LMGs, because I'll probably never get that skin. Maybe I could just trade you the blood of a virgin or something, sacrifice a goat, because that's a lot of grinding for 1 camo. But moving on, the reflex and hollow sights not displaying enemy outlines as intended has been fixed. And did someone say hollow sight? Like the same hollow sight that you can get on our Happy Halloween merch, limited time only. Go get yours from the merch link in the description. But they also fixed a sight aiming wobble caused by jumping while in ADS, and they should have just left this alone because now all the non-movement people are going to have something new to complain about, and it's just getting old. Then they finally fixed a few-month-old exploit where you can get your ACR to do like 50 damage per shot, or really a lot of weapons, not just the ACR, but I won't get into the whole thing here. I made a video on that as well a while back, and I'm sure it took them a crazy long time to figure out how this was even happening. But let's go ahead and speed this along because I'm sure this video is about to be like 17 minutes or longer. They fixed the glitch that caused EMPs to disable other grenades, and also exploding sticky nades now damage enemies when lobbed onto ceilings. Perfect. Very nice. Netcode, everyone's favorite part of XDefiant. They fixed an issue I talked about recently where you would shoot someone just before you die, hear the sound, get the hit marker, but still do 0 damage. That should now be fixed. Then we finally get a quick chat option, and this is probably more so for console players because I can usually just type out something faster than using any quick chat feature, but good addition, especially for console players. And they finally balanced the footstep audio to be the same level, which isn't exactly what we asked for, but we'll get to that. Then also crouch walking is silent. Has it always been like that, or is that new? Someone let me know in the comments. But if it's new, this is definitely a bomb mode feature. Then we get into the thing that we've been asking for the most when it comes to footstep audio. They lowered the volume of your own footsteps and muted all friendly footsteps that's directly behind you. Big W. No more paranoia that I'm going to be shot in the back, turn around, and it's just a teammate to be shot in the back now that I'm not facing the enemy. Then we get just a bunch of other audio fixes that's not worth really going over. You can pause here and read it if you'd like. And lastly, the miscellaneous fixes that I'm just going to skip over most of them, but now you can skip the intro videos, finally, because I'm so tired of watching the same thing over and over. So thank you. Bunch of weird fixes, crash fixes, that's about it. So we finally made it to the end of what I think is the longest patch notes by far this game has ever seen. But is it enough to bring people back, or at least hold us over until we can get customs? Let me know your thoughts on these patch notes down in the comments, W or L overall, and what's one thing you were hoping for that was left off of these patch notes. I'm going to be hopping into the firing range for most of the day today and tomorrow to test a lot of this stuff, so don't level up your PP19 Bisons without me, and I'll catch you in the next one.